We just had so many patterns for the entire spooky month here, the entire month of October, that I literally even forgot about some of them that we had, and I even created the pattern. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to altknots. Happy Halloween Eve, because it has officially arrived. I am so freaking excited, and I hope that you guys are too. If you have some fun spooky traditions, I hope you're like fully immersed in it by now. Just getting ready for the day tomorrow. Also, if this is your first time here, this is a perfect time to arrive at altknots, because that's what this channel is about. We are all about spooky everything, and definitely spooky crochet. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I definitely hope that you stick around, because tomorrow we will be having a Halloween party here in the Yarn Dungeon. So 8 p.m. Central, I'm from Minnesota, so however that correlates to you guys, but 8 p.m. Central, we're going to be having a Halloween party here in the Yarn Dungeon, and I am crazy excited about it. But even though we're like in the zone, basically Halloween is upon us, we do still have a few more days left here with the Fright Club. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump in on that, see what we have left. We have literally just a couple left, and I did tell you that on the bottom here of this coffin that had all of these amazing yarn goodness things in here, there's this little picture that was starting to form, and we only have 2 days left here, so I figured I'd show you what's actually on the inside. So it's freaking adorable, and now I'm changing my mind of how I want to hang this up literally after tomorrow. But how freaking cute is that? So it's a skeleton that's holding some skeins of yarn, and it says, "Just bury me with my stash." Like, if that's not the most accurate thing I've ever seen in Halloween form, I don't know what is. But so now I'm thinking that this has to get hung up somewhere, because I really liked the back of it, the spooky Jimmy Bean Wool like haunted castle thing, but this is freaking adorable. So I'm thinking this part has to be out, at least for a little while anyways, and then maybe I'll like switch it up or something. But also I'm thinking it's gonna be cute hung up like this, because then I can set things on here. I don't know, there are a lot of options, but anyways, we only have 2 days left here, so I don't really need this anymore, but I'm gonna show you anyways. So we have the Fright Club here, day number 30. The sticker is a little zombie hand with that sick toxic green slime color that I'm super into this year. Let's see, is it the color? Nope, it's just the black and white one. All right, so here is the little zombie sticker, and it's super squishy, so I'm thinking that it's gonna be yarn, which is awesome. And I do have all the yarn here. I think I did that yesterday too, showed all the yarn. But what color do we think we have today? Ooh, we have a ton of this color now. So it is that spooky neon type of witchy purple. I'm super loving this too, like genuinely loving this. So I think we have 2 of these. Let me double check though. Yeah, so all in all, we ended up with 3 of these, and I'm not mad about it because I really love this color, but interesting. So there is officially all of the colors all together. But if you are new here, you probably have literally no idea what the Fright Club is. So there's a link down below, you can go ahead and click on that. Basically, it was this amazing box that had a bunch of fun notions and some yarn and stuff in it, and it's gonna make this really sick AF Halloween cowl at the end of it. So yeah, just click on the link down below, and they also have a Facebook page. So if you're interested in checking out other people's like variations of the cowl that they've already created, there's a ton of pictures that are already up on there. So since it is literally only one more day until Halloween, like Halloween is tomorrow. I guess I'm not saying that right. Tomorrow is Halloween, in case anyone has ever forgot. But so a lot of people just like busted it open, did the entire thing at the beginning of October, and now they have the completed cowl. But I am gonna start mine on November 1st because I'm spooky all year round. So I'm not gonna get tired of it, and I'm still gonna have a ton of fun doing it. And literally, I enjoyed it so much, opening this up every single day in October. So really, really, really hoping that they're gonna have it out again next year, because I had so much fun doing it. So like I said, we had a ton of patterns that I did for this entire spooky season. Like seriously, I just sat down and was looking at all of the patterns that I created, and literally like did all the tutorials for them and everything, and there are a ton of them. So there are some of them that I actually forgot about, so I figured let's just have a yarn chat today. Today's gonna be the day like everyone's getting their costumes ready, going out buying some candy. If you haven't bought candy yet, honestly, good luck. I don't know. I did that literally a few years ago where I did not buy candy until literally the day of Halloween, and it didn't end well. I think we ended up with just some like random candy because all of the giant bags of candy were totally gone, which now, hindsight, whatever. But anyways, it was the first year that I had a house to actually be able to have trick-or-treaters come and everything, and yeah, I just wasn't thinking. But anyways, this year there are no trick-or-treaters coming to our house, but you know, you gotta have candy. It's Halloween. You have to have candy around the house literally for the entire month, but definitely on Halloween. Like, I feel like it's a necessary. It's something that has to be done on Halloween. So yeah, I figured we'd just have a little yarn chat about all these amazing tutorials in case you like missed a day or forgot about something and you're like, that is cool, I need to go back and find that. And then speaking of that, I do have all of these patterns in one area or in one playlist. So it's the 31 Days of Halloween playlist. I have all 31 days on there, but like all of the patterns are also on there. And I actually think I am gonna put just the patterns in another like area. So I have an actual Halloween playlist. I'll probably put the patterns all over there as well because I have some patterns in there from when I did Xmas in July. I think those are already in there. So I don't know. I might go ahead and just throw the patterns there just in case you want to like reference real quick, go through and find it. That might be a little bit easier than going through all 31 days, but either way, they'll definitely be in the 31 Days of Halloween playlist. So for my coffee today, I literally have a dark roast, and that is it. Just plain dark roast, a little bit of butter, blended it all up, and that is the latte that I have today. So obviously I woke up today with a ton of energy, so I didn't really want to waste time, you know, having super extra ingredients, extra stuff that needed to go into my coffee. So I just wanted straight caffeine, and that is what I have today. This was the first pattern here, and it was I don't even have like names for the patterns. They're just literally, the name is literally just what they are. So this is like a little wristlet, and it's a coffin bag, and it is freaking adorable. I have quite a few of these, but for the actual giveaway here, I have on the side is these sick stitch markers here from Witchcrafter Cults, which is amazing, and I totally forgot to let you guys know, but on Saturday, or no, not Saturday, last Sunday, he had his giant monster shop update thing, and like I said, everything went super quick. Like, he had nothing left over the day later. It literally was like hours, and his shop was completely empty once again. So obviously people are getting really excited about these, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because they're freaking adorable. But anyways, these are the ones that we collabed together, and he is offering up with this amazing little wristlet here. So you get both of these things in the giveaway, and there are 4 of them. So let me just do another close-up of it because they're just so freaking cute. Like, honestly, I don't need any more stitch markers because, like, how many stitch markers do you actually use for a project? Or even if I have multiple projects going, I feel like 4 would definitely be good. But for the most part, that's how he packages them, is in sets of 4. So that's why I have that in giant bulletin board over there just full of stitch markers, because they're just freaking cute. Like, I'm always going, like, every time he has a shop update, there's something new. First and foremost, he's always working on new things. So it's not like there's a ton of repeats as well. So I'm always finding something that I want to get that I don't have. So that is why we have that bulletin board there for when I find more stitch markers that I need literally in my life. But this is the pattern, and it has the amazing magnetic clasp on it here. So on the side, you can fold it over or extend it a little bit, and then you can fit, this is about like the size of a tablet is what this size is, with it open completely. And then there is magnetic clasp on the inside here as well, and then I actually did spend the time and put a liner in literally all of these that I've made. And like I said, I've made quite a few of these throughout the season, but especially for the giveaway one, which I have in the pile of giveaway stuff, that does definitely have a liner in it as well. I just feel like it's kind of nice. This yarn, I don't feel like it really needs a liner. You know, there are some yarns that you definitely do need liners for. Otherwise, it's impossible to call it a bag just because it just will not function. But this is the 24/7 cotton yarn by Lion Brand, and I just feel like it's actually durable enough, and it's still super soft, but it has like a bit of structure to it. So it's really good for making bags, and that's literally the majority of my bags that I've made are made out of that. Or like my market bags that I have are definitely made out of that, because I'm super lazy when it comes to market bags and I don't ever put a liner in them. Honestly, I don't know if it's just because it's big. I know what it is. I don't like to sew. It's not my favorite part of creating bag tutorials here. So sewing is literally the last thing I do because I don't like doing it. But some of them require it, so I think that's why I definitely love the 24/7 cotton yarn by Lion Brands. And I realized that I have been like hitting Lion Brands hard lately. I don't know, it's just the yarn that I like, and I just naturally go towards that. I don't know why, but it's actually like decent yarn. I'd really like it. Like, I wouldn't say that I liked it if I didn't, because there have been some yarns that I've reviewed on here already that I'm like, it's not that I hate it, but like I don't want to use it again. Like, I would definitely let you know if I did not like it. But so far, there are not really any yarns that I've come in contact from Lion Brands that I don't like. But next up, what do we have here? So this giant monster pocket scarf that we made, and this so this one was made with Lion Brand yarn again. So this is the new Hue and Me line, the one that basically sold out the very first week that she launched it. Like, it was such a great launch for her, like seriously. So I was super lucky that I got my hands on some of it, and I could not tell you what the actual name of this color is anymore, but the important part of this is it is a giant scarf that has 2 pockets on the front of it, and it has these killer Beetlejuice patches. All right, we'll do that one first. I love any version of the sandstorm worms, or the sandworms. I love anything with that on it. Like, seriously, that's adorable. And this patch turned out freaking killer, so much so that I actually have duplicates of this. I have this on a purse that I made, and then I have it on a hat that I made, and then now I have it on this scarf. So I really freaking love these patches, like, honestly. And then this one here is adorable. Like, honestly, I love it so much. And I think I did mention, but when I first got this patch, I was like, I don't know if I like it, because it has that really rich, like, Halloween type of orange, and normally doing that type of Halloween orange with my fire engine red hair does not look good. But it actually goes together really well with this scarf, and I'm super glad that I put it on the pockets, because I would have been really sad. So it's a place called Forest Ink, and they have a ton of patches there, and that's where I got the patches. And when I saw them online, they kind of like paired them together, and everyone had been putting them like on their jean pockets or like on their shirts, or, you know, their jean jackets. That's the word I was looking for. Everybody had them on stuff like that, which is super cool, but I really wanted to incorporate it into something crochet, something in general. I had no idea when I bought it what I wanted to do, but I freaking love this scarf, like, seriously. And just because everything needs pockets. In 2020, literally everything needs pockets. They're adorable. And it got really cold here before October, so this scarf has definitely come in handy for me. That is for darn sure. Let's see. But basically, you can wrap it around a billion times, honestly. So I don't think I'll get much use out of it this week. It's actually pretty nice out right now, like shockingly nice, and I'm okay with that for sure, because I like it to be, you know, I don't want it to be snowing on actual Halloween. Like, I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for, but like, I don't want snow on my holiday. Like, thank you, no thank you. That one there, that whole table is just gonna be full of patterns here pretty soon. I seriously had to write all of the patterns down here because I was like forgetting some. Like, I would get everything out and I'm like, oh yeah, that's all of the patterns, and I'm like, oh no, it's not, definitely not. Okay, so what was the next one here? We had, oh, the shining inspired hat. Yes! Oh my gosh, you guys, I seriously freaking am in love with this hat. I loved this pattern so much. Okay, love, hate. So as you can see, there is a ton of color work in this. Like absolutely a ton of color work in it. So when I was creating this pattern, I use a thing called Stitch Fiddler, and it's where you can go in and create crochet graphs. And if you, like, there's a version that you can pay for, and I do personally think that it's worth it. If you make crochet graphs quite often, it's definitely worth paying for it. I honestly don't remember what it is. It's something ridiculous, like $5 for like a year. I should look it up here. But anyways, if you don't do it a ton, there's a version where you can do up to like 14 or 15 graphs for free, and you can have it all in one spot, and it saves it, and it's amazing. But anyways, so when I was using that program here to create this, it took some time. Like seriously, like I said, I had been working on this actual pattern for quite a few months, like in general. And it's not that the design was difficult, because I knew, I mean, it's the carpet of The Shining, so I knew what I wanted it to look like, and the actual hat construction here is not that difficult, because literally it's single crochet, and we're going in the back loop only here, and then all the rest of this is literally just single crochet, and the top we just cinched closed, you know, closed up the side. Oh yeah, that's it. So when I made it, we made it flat. Now I'm remembering. We made the whole thing flat. So it's literally just single crochet, make this giant square, and that's it. So once the pattern was done, it was super awesome and easy to like whip up. But yeah, actually creating the pattern took a little bit of time and effort, because like I was doing it on my tablet, so every time I needed to get it like a little bit closer, I'd have to like zoom in, and if I wasn't too careful, I'd like zoom out, and then I'd end up hitting a bunch of different buttons or a bunch of different squares, and then it would just like completely destroy the pattern. And I'm like, oh my god, this is my nightmare. This is literally my nightmare. But I'm so glad that I actually finished it, because there was no chance that I wasn't gonna finish it, because it's sick and it's like literally Halloween. Like this just screams Halloween, so it had to be done. It had to be in 31 days of Halloween, but it took some effort. So I'm really glad that it turned out, and for the most part I've gotten like a lot of response. Like a lot of you ghouls seem to have really liked this, so definitely as another fun reminder, if you do end up making this or any other pattern in general, I do have a Facebook group page that you can go ahead, and I have it set as private right now, but obviously just go ahead, request, and obviously I'll accept you here. I only set it as private just because I was like, I want it to be a place where it's like a fun, creative place for all the ghouls to get together, and you know, no other noise is gonna get in the way. So people who know what the group is, they're gonna know, go there. The other people are just kind of like, stay away from it. But so anyways, that is there if you're interested, and it's an excellent place when you have finished projects to go ahead and take a picture and show it off, because I personally know that I love to see finished whips for sure, and then all the ghouls are there so everyone else can see it too, and it's just like, it's just a fun, positive, crochet, creative place to be. So there is that. All right, I need to like start stacking these nicely, otherwise we're gonna run out of room quick. So after we made the red rum hat, oh, the spider cowl, let's go ahead and get this. And the spider cowl. So first and foremost, I freaking love the construction of this cowl. I have worn this so much already. Let's just go ahead and actually throw it on here over my giant bow, if I can get it over there. Got it, perfect. So literally this yarn is so hella soft, like it's unbelievably soft. This is the Bernate Plentiful yarn. Yeah, so that big giant yarn that basically looked like a spider egg is what this yarn is, and the pattern just turned out so fierce. There have been a couple of ghouls out there that I've seen have made this, which is killer, and one person in particular made a sparkly version, and I was totally into that. Like, it turned out super cool. Obviously not using this yarn, because there is no sparkly version of this yarn in that brand, but Anyways, I think that's a great idea because I did not enjoy working with this yarn. Like, I think it turned out perfect, and I wanted it to look like you're wearing spider webs, and that's exactly what it looks like. But I will not make another one of these. Like, so definitely don't ask me to make another one because I'm not going to. I have a crap ton of that yarn literally like chilling in my closet right now, and I think it's just forever gonna stay that way because it was such a pain in the ass to use. Like, seriously, it's so floofy. It got caught on my hook all the time. Like, it was like, it's impossible to see your stitches, like impossible. So you're basically just crocheting blind the entire time, which I'm not a super big fan of that, but luckily the actual construction of this, I made it super simple, like a very beginner friendly type of pattern here. And obviously I did that a little bit selfishly for myself too, because I knew this yarn was just going to be a nightmare to work with. But anyways, so we have that cute little edge on the cowl, and then it basically just expands to this giant like lacy, cobwebby type looking stitches here, which I freaking love it. Like, honestly, so I guess in the end I am super glad that I did it the one time. This pattern, I definitely have made a couple different versions of this pattern with different yarn. So I haven't used this yarn again, and I don't know that I will. So for the next one that we did these adorable pumpkins, which you have, like, it's spooky season. You have to crochet some pumpkins. Like, it's just such a go-to type of pattern for the spooky year. And then I had the top here has the beet vodka cork on it, which is actually the cut inside of a beet is stamped on the top of here, which is freaking adorable, and I love them so much. So I knew that I had to put them on something or somewhere. It had to be used. We have like a big giant vase with these in here. We've just been collecting them because they're so cute, and I was like, I need to do something with them. So when I decided to put on these pumpkins, I was like, yeah, good idea, because they're so freaking cute. So we did the baby versions here. Then I made this one. What did I end up using? So this one used the hook nook yarn, and I don't remember what this one's called. Maybe this one is called the like little black dress. I think it's called the little black dress. Yeah, because if you can see on here, it has a little bit of like sparkle on it. I'm pretty sure that's what that yarn was called, is the little black dress. But I made two little baby versions, and then I made this giant jumbo version here. And I really freaking love these faux feathers on them. Like, they're just like perfect. Adds the perfect amount of Gothic touch to your pumpkin. Next, because I really love The Shining, that is literally one of my favorite horror movies ever. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it, literally just in this spooky season. It's just a great movie to like throw on background. The actual like background noise of The Shining, or music I guess, not noise, music, is super awesome to crochet with. So if you ever need something to just throw on in the background and you're not like interested in a movie or something, literally just put The Shining on and you're gonna have a great time. I know that I do anyways. But so I had to do a second crochet pattern inspired by The Shining. Let's see if I can get this all in one shot. So we have this kick-ass red rum rug here. Oh my gosh. And I love how this turned out. Like, seriously love. So I definitely am going to be making another version of this because it turned out so freaking killer. And especially with this type of yarn, I have a ton of it left over. So I definitely need to make some more rugs from it. I don't know, maybe I was thinking maybe I would do like a Coraline inspired one next, because that is literally another one of my favorite. Basically anything Tim Burton related, I love all his movies. And Coraline is just such a wicked claymation movie. Like when I was younger, I actually read the Coraline book, and I remember being like, wow, this is a kid's book. This is terrifying AF, but I love it. And then when the movie came out, obviously, like, I don't know, I think the book is actually a lot more scary than the movie, but I get it because it's supposed to be like a kid's movie and you can only make it so scary, but whatever. It's still scary enough. The idea that there's this like random alien creature that wants to like sew buttons on your eyes is terrifying enough. So I guess we don't really need to take it like 10 steps further than that. But yeah, so I was thinking that I might do that. Might make a Coraline inspired one. Or I guess we're coming up to like Xmas, so maybe I'll do like a Nightmare Before Christmas inspired rug. Honestly, it comes down to I don't like the rugs that are available, so that's why I like create my own. Like the ones that you see around this time of year, like kind of like cutesy Halloween, and that's definitely not the vibe for my yarn dungeon, and especially not for my house around this time of year. Like cutesy Halloween is definitely not what I want here. But anyways, so that's why I went ahead and made this killer pattern. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that because I freaking love how it turned out. Then this yarn, this dragonfly, I say dragonfly, like literally it's basically Beetlejuice inspired yarn. Like honestly, I think it had so many opportunities to be named something cooler than dragonfly, and they just like totally missed that mark. But I literally have been obsessed with this yarn all spooky season. First and foremost because it's acrylic, so it's really easy to like take care of. You can throw this thing in the wash and the dryer. Well, not with the pom-pom on, so I take that back. Don't throw it in the dryer with the pom-pom on, but if you don't have the pom-pom on, this yarn, washer, dryer, it doesn't matter, it's acrylic. And it's still super freaking soft, like honestly. And it's a really easy beginner friendly type of yarn too. It doesn't get caught on your hook. It's like super smooth to work with. Obviously really easy to see your stitches because it's this crazy Beetlejuice inspired type colors here, which I freaking love it so much. And I genuinely did not have an intention of using this yarn. This was that fun yarn that I was like looking after we had the Fright Club here, and I found that, let me pull it up, this yarn. After I found this yarn, then I was like, oh my god, I want like a whole skein of just this yarn, and then I spent like a couple weeks looking for this color, which I still am kind of currently looking for this exact color, but we're getting close. We're finding some other things. But anyways, then I was digging around in my closet here, and I found this yarn. It's the Charisma yarn from Michaels by Loops and Threads. Yeah. Anyway, so it was just chilling in my yarn dungeon here, and it got pushed all the way to the back because basically, short story long here, I had a ton of it from like a few years back. I had gotten in like this giant bundle of yarn, so like there was other stuff in there. I think there was like some black and gray yarn in there as well of the Charisma yarn by Loops and Threads. So I definitely used that, but then this at the time, I guess I had no idea what I wanted to use it for, so I just got shoved to the back and I forgot about it. So anyways, fast forward to literally 2020, during spooky season, I found this sick yarn, so I knew that I had to make it into something, and this is definitely one of my favorite go-to type of patterns for beanies because it's super, super easy to do. The top here is literally just bobble crochet, so that stuff works up super fast, and the fact that, I can't remember, I think that this is a 9mm hook. I'm pretty sure that this requires a 9mm, so it works up crazy fast because like 9mm hooks are huge. But anyways, literally just do that, go all the way around. The bottom has that little rib here, but it is literally a single crochet and then working in the back loops. Just keep doing that. I genuinely cannot tell you how many of these types of hat that I've made for this spooky season. So basically, when it comes time and it's really, really cold here, being as I live in Minnesota, I'm gonna have a ton of hats already ready to go. Next pattern that we have here is this super easy last minute cowl. And I freaking love easy and quick crochet patterns, and especially the fact that this is something that's super practical too. Like honestly, let's see if I can get this over my bono. I also love any opportunity to put patches on things, and especially the fact that this is like a Jason one. I knew I had to use it for the spooky season, but I just did not know what I wanted to use it for. But I think it turned out perfect, and I love where it's at, because that is the other problem that I have with like patches is I'll find something to put it on, and then immediately after I put it on something, I find another project that I'm like, this would be perfect for it. So then I'm like ripping it off the project or buying another one. Like that's just kind of the story of my life when it comes to patches. But this one is definitely gonna stay on because I love this project so much. It goes by super quick, and it is a one skein type of project, which is awesome. Especially when you're just like getting ready for bed, you're like winding down, or like in the morning when you're having like your first cup of coffee and you just want like a little something to keep your hands going, but you don't really want to think about anything yet. This is the perfect project for that. So this one turned out super cute, and I might actually go ahead and like alter this pattern a little bit because I made it super tight because I want it to be like you can layer on top of it. So I hate that when I have really big cowls on and then I go ahead in the winter and like throw on my pea coat and throw on a hat and like my gloves and all that. Like the ordeal of getting ready to go outside in the wintertime in Minnesota is literally just the absolute worst. But anyway, so I wanted this to be something that you could like throw on as an accessory that's like super quick and easy, and then it'll just be like nice and tight and keep your neck warm because I hate being cold. And but then you don't have to worry about like all the extra bulk. Like I do have another pattern like called the monster cowl, which I do love that. So like that is just like an obnoxious in your face type of cowl, but that was definitely not the purpose for this one. This is just like your everyday, like you have to go outside real quick and like get something. This is perfect for that. Also, people have been asking like, where do I get my patches? Because these patches are super killer. Literally Etsy. The majority of my patches come from Etsy because there are just so many fun, creative people on Etsy, and there are a ton of horror patches on there. Like seriously, it's amazing. I love them so much. But if you're interested in any of the patches, like seriously, check out Etsy. That is the best place. So this one I still want to make in the other color that I got, which was kind of like a steel. That's what it was. It was the color steel for the Eco Cozy. Yeah, the Eco Cozy yarn that we tried out here, and then made this little cowl, or not cowl, I guess it's a scarf. This little scarf here that has the pocket, so you can go ahead and slide the opposite side in there, and then it lays flat when you have your jacket on top of it, and I freaking love this. Like I seriously love this project here. I still don't know if I'm super in love with the yarn. Well, I mean, I know that I'm not in love with the yarn because it's hand wash, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, I don't know about that. But I did actually cheat a little bit, and I threw this in the washer, and I just put it on like a delicate cycle, and it seemed to work. I mean, like it still looks pretty good. So, but I didn't throw it in the dryer. I left it to dry flat, which is totally fine. But I don't know that I'm gonna actually get it. Like, I mean, I have a ton of the yarn right now, so I gotta use it for something. So I think I definitely am gonna make another version of this in the color steel. Let me go grab that actually, because I really like that color. Okay, so this is the actual other color that I got, and let me make sure that it actually is the color steel. So steel gray is what it's called. So in comparison here, these were the two colors that I got for this. And yeah, I feel like I'm gonna like this a lot better. Like if you can imagine it as like a little cowl, so like this, but in this color. Yeah, I've had so many projects going this month that I just have not had time to get around to it, but I have a ton of this yarn left over. It's just, yeah, especially it's just that hand wash that really like is off-putting to me. I don't know, I guess I'm just all around lazy when it comes to my yarn, and I want to be able to throw it in the wash and dryer. So, but like I said, it does go in the washer on delicate, so maybe I'll go ahead and make another version here sometime here. I also would feel really bad about like creating this as like a gift and giving it to someone and being like, here is this amazing thing that I made for you, but just so you know, you have to hand wash it. Happy day. Like, I feel like that would be so rude. I know personally any of my family members would be like, I don't want to hand wash this. Like, why would I hand wash this? But all right, thanks. Here we have this project that literally was the bane of my existence for a while here because it was just an ordeal to get together, but it turned out sick. So we have this like face hugger that just popped out of a xenomorph egg, and yeah, it's gonna attach onto your face, and it's terrifying. But I think the pattern turned out super awesome. I'm really, really glad that I finished it. So this is one of those projects, again, that took, like, I can't tell you how many times I frogged this entire project. I probably don't want to remember how many times I frogged this entire project because it was like that much of an ordeal with me. But anyways, so this is the one that has the metal clasp, or the magnetic clasp, I guess, on the side here, which basically ends up making it like a little hat that goes over the top of your head. That goes on your face, and then these wrap around your neck right there, essentially being a mask, a face hugger. And yeah, I think it would be a perfect like Halloween costume. Literally, now that the project is done or the pattern is complete, it's kind of like the Shining Inspire hat. Like, once it's done, I could go back and make these like nothing. Like, it's done, you know? So it's not a super hard, or like you don't, it's not like an advanced type of project. It just was a lot of work getting all the parts together and getting it to look the way that I want it to look. Because I had essentially the idea of what I wanted, but I would keep going, and then like something would just be kind of a little bit off, or I wouldn't like it, and then I just start all over. So that was that ordeal, but I freaking love it. And then to make matters even better, this is, once again, it's Lion Brands, the DIY glow yarn. So you just put this under a little UV light, or go ahead and set it in the sun for a little bit, and then this glows, and it's freaking sick. I like genuinely, this is probably one of my favorite projects for this spooky season anyways, but which makes sense, right? It's the one that literally took the longest for me to like actually get correct, or the way that I wanted it to look, but then in the end it ends up being one of my favorite projects. So I guess that makes it all worth it in the end. So if that one was my favorite one, this one is probably the one that I ended up using the most, and it is my easy, beginner-friendly Cardi. And I freaking love how this turned out. Like, seriously, I cannot tell you how often I use this. Seriously, I gotta throw it on here just so you see, but super easy, honestly. That was literally the goal of this project, is I want it to be easy. I want it to be incredibly beginner friendly, because I know there are so many cardigans out there. God, that's so sick. There are just so many cardigans out there that are like absolutely beautiful, but I get it, like when you're first starting out crocheting, like it's a little intimidating, especially when you see the pattern like instructions for a cardi. Like, a lot of times they can be long, or like multiple pages, and I know that like when I was starting out crocheting, I would definitely gloss over those, because I'd be like, that's a really killer like finished project, but I don't want to like spend that much time reading through all those instructions, you know. It's just a little intimidating. Anyway, so this one is beyond beginner friendly, and I freaking love it. I've already made a couple of these. Like, honestly, I love this Beetlejuice inspired yarn so much, and then with this toxic green faux fur on it, absolutely, I love this color so much. But I also do have one in gray and black already completed, and then I have a couple more on my hook too, ready to go, of just some other colors that I'm going to be making for gifts this year. But yeah, so this one turned out, and this was one of those things that was like super impromptu. I had no, like in August when I was writing all the patterns out for October, or like choosing the patterns, I guess, that I wanted for spooky seasons, this was not even an idea. This was like such a last minute project, and I'm like, honestly, I'm shocked with myself that it actually got done and thrown into all of the rest of these that I had ready to go for the October season here. But I'm super glad that I did, because it's really warm for right now. Like, it's kind of warm in here, so I'm gonna take that off. But honestly, this is beyond my favorite thing. It's literally just it's become a staple in my wardrobe for sure. It's a 9mm hook, so it works up crazy fast, and it's super warm. Like, literally this with a t-shirt on is like too warm for right now, and it's like, I think it's like 30 something outside, so it's not like it's super warm out. But anyways, it is definitely like rocking a blanket, like a very stylish Beetlejuice inspired blanket, and I seriously love how it turned out so much. But there is that one. Very, very glad that I actually committed to getting that done. That was another one that it was like 4 in the morning and I'm still working on it, trying to get it done because I wanted to fit it in to this spooky season, and I did it, and I'm super glad that I did. And then spinning off literally right off of that one, this is another pattern that I did not have planned for this year, but it kind of just happened because I just found that yarn and then absolutely fell in love with it. And then we have these easy, super easy fingerless mitts. Oh my gosh, I love these. These, I already have so many of these already. In this color, I have a couple of them. I have some with just like plain black, no fur. It's just the most simple fingerless crochet mitts here ever. Literally so beginner friendly. And I love them because I love having mittens, like multiple mittens, because in the winter, especially in Minnesota, it's like you're constantly going from like snow state to just like wet outside, and wet and muddy and gross and yuck. So as soon as you step outside, when you have mittens on, they're immediately gonna get wet. Like either from like going from here to the car and like touching the car door and then there's snow all over it, or it's all the snow is melted and then it's all like over your mittens here, whatever. It's kind of like wet socks to me. Like I don't like having wet mittens. So once they're wet, then it's just like ugh, and like super off-putting, and I have to throw them in the wash and the dryer and get them done. And so I definitely need a ton of pairs. So this was awesome, and I'm really glad that this one got done too, because now I have a plethora of these amazing bottle beanies to match these fingerless mitts. So I'm basically ready to go for the winter. I mean, like mentally, I'm not ready for the snow and all of that jazz, but like physically, I'm having all the accessories here. And then with that cardi too, we're just ready to go. Bring it on, winter. Here we have the skull and bat body pillow, and I have made 2 of these already. One of them like is chilling on the couch because I love body pillows on the couch, literally my favorite. And then another one I made for the actual bed because I don't know, I don't feel like you can have too many pillows, honestly, but this one was super fun for me to make too. The crochet graph was awesome. I absolutely love how it turned out. And the fact that the bats kind of like wrap around the pillow, absolutely love it. And we used the cover story yarn. So once again, by Lion Brands, we used the cover story. So it's that big giant ball of yarn, and you basically can end up making this entire big body pillow cover, which is awesome. So I'm super glad that we decided to use it for that. I do have a version of this that I didn't make into a pillow. I just used it as like a blanket, and it actually ends up being a decent sized blanket too. So I just really like the crochet graph version here that I made, so I felt like it needed to be a little throw to go on the couch here for the spooky season, and it'll probably just stay there now. It's just like part of it. So I do have a black couch, and so like this, so like the pillow is this kind of like, oh, let me grab it again here, this like tannish color, and then we have this, the black or whatever, but then I have a, I think it's called like mineral, that another color, which was like a little, like a darker gray, I guess. So our couch is black, and then I used that darker gray to go ahead and make the blanket version of this, and it looks super chill. I'm super happy with it, like seriously. Basically, there isn't anything that I wasn't happy with in the end. Like there was a lot of like projects that gave me a ton of trouble, but in the end I liked it all, so that ends up working out. And then the very last pattern here that we did for the entire spooky season, I already have it hanging up here, and if you saw that, I weaved in all of my ends. Like seriously, give me a high five for that, because that was an ordeal for sure. So I do have the 2 versions. So I started off with making it into a bag, and I freaking love that. But then I wanted to try it without actually like carrying the strand along. I thought it'd be nicer, and I did find a green, which is what I wanted this one, the actual skulls to be. I wanted that to be green. I found the actual color, so I ended up making this one here, which just ended up turning into a wall hanging because I didn't want to commit to a full bag if it wasn't going to turn out the way that I wanted it to. But anyways, it did turn out amazing and I love it. So I will be making another version of this as an actual bag because I totally need this in my life as a bag. Like I need this type of thing as an accessory in my life. So the amazing toxic green, and then the cup right here, the yarn is the DIY glow in the dark yarn. Absolutely love it. So I felt like it had to be hung up. Like seriously, it was just gonna end up being like a little swatch, basically just to try it out to see if I liked it. And then I was like, whatever, if I don't like it, it's just basically the graph version. It's not like I committed to a whole bag. But I did love it, and so I didn't want to throw it away, even though it was just a swatch. It wasn't going to be turned into a bag, so it turned into a wall hanging, and here is the front, and look at that. Wow, it looks a lot different from when I actually showed you guys. That was, oh my gosh, you guys, that was an ordeal. There was so many ends. Like seriously, it was like, it was okay on the bottom here. I was like, okay, yeah, there's a lot, but like from here where this like blood red starts all the way up to the top of the cup, that was such a nightmare. There were so many ends. It was so ridiculous, but like I feel like that is pretty good for my first time ever actually committing to weaving in all of the ends. So basically, I love it. I love that I now have this little area here fixed. Let me go and put it back here. But yes, so now we have something on this side of the wall, and I feel like the background is a little more like balanced now. I don't know. I do have literally 4 more picture frames that I just got in today. And so we'll see. It might just be changing. Like it looks really good and I love how it is right now. But like I said, we got some new ones and they are actual picture frames that have really creepy, spooky drawings of Coraline. So like these amazing artists that I found on Etsy once again that did their interpretations of like really creepy scenes of Coraline. So obviously I had to like buy them, check it out. I had to hang it up somewhere. I have every intention of kind of putting it in the corner here. So I have like a chair over here, which is where I kind of do most of my crocheting when I'm working up a pattern here. And there's like an area of the wall that I was like, ooh, that would be really cool to like kind of make it like the creepy corner. Maybe I'll put it there, but if I really, really like them, obviously it'll get switched around here somewhere. But then this wasn't even part of like the actual patterns that I made, but I did still create it for the spooky season. So I figured I would show you that. The other day we had a chit chat about the amazing Addi machine, which I absolutely love. Like it's so not necessary to have as a crocheter. It's literally just such a fun tool though. A fun fiber tool basically. And I personally love it because I can whip up hats super, super quick. Anyways, if you want to know all of the details about that, you can go ahead and click on that link for my Addi chat. But basically I had a ton of hats here and I kind of glossed over it, but I have a billion patches here and I kind of wanted to show you some of my spooky patches. So I showed you this one, the like Silence of the Lamb inspired one. We got that. Like I said, I wasn't lying. I have a ton of patches, a ton of hats getting ready for the winter season. So we got this one. Then this one was pretty sick too. Like I said, I have a literal million of them. Oh, I did show you this one. The Necronomicon patch, which I have been rocking that one this week for sure. This was a really fun one I got from Etsy. It's Elm Street. Obviously, Nightmare on Elm Street. Can we talk about how terrifying that movie is? Literally the idea that if you fall asleep, like that's where you die. Okay, so like I joke about it all the time about not being able to sleep because I have so much crochet to do, but like, oh my gosh, like I personally, I think that's a terrifying monster. A monster that literally the only opportunity that has to get to you is in your sleep. Sleeping is a necessity for humans. Like that is terrifying. So whoever created that, like kudos to them because I have lost so many hours of sleep. literally just thinking about that and thinking about not sleeping. Thinking about not thinking about sleeping. How about that? Yeah, so terrifying. Yeah, but so anyways, so that one, the Nightmare on Elm Street patch that I got, it was freaking cool. So it was this person on Etsy, and they had a ton of other really cool patches, but this one actually came with, let me show you, it came with enamel pins, which was awesome, and they were like free. They were just like a gift that they gave. So there's the actual Nightmare on Elm Street thing, and then there's one, I don't know where it's at. It must be somewhere else, but there's one of like his actual like hand glove claw thing there. And so that was super cool, and it came in this really nice box. It had like the 2 enamel pins stuck in some foam, and then the patch right in the middle, and I was like, that is so freaking nice, like honestly. But like that is literally one of my favorite things about shopping on Etsy, is that there is a real person behind that business. Like that's their own, it's a small business, and they always put so much like love and care, and the personal touches are just ridiculous. Like I love them so much, so I'll always go on Etsy and buy that. This is one of my favorite ones. Halloween Queen, absolutely. Oh, I don't know where that one is. I had another patch that said Scream Queen on it, and I think I just like rock that one every day. I think it's in the closet, so that's where that one is. And then this one, I do have a bunch of other hats. This patch actually was like a package deal, so it had like all of the anatomy. So there's ones that has like fingers, there's a skull, there's a spine, there's like a femur, like a ton of patches came in it, and it was super cool. But alright you guys, so that is literally all of the patterns that we had here for spooky season. So hopefully you remembered them all, but if you didn't, like I said, I do have these all, like the actual tutorials, I have them all in a playlist marked 31 Days of Halloween, so definitely just go ahead and click that, scroll through, find the one you want, and they'll all be right there even after spooky season. Obviously, like I said, this channel is definitely all about spooky season every season, so the entire year it's all about spooky here, but this is just like the height of Spooky Central, so definitely had to put them all together in this one for the month of October. Before I do let you go though, just a reminder, literally tomorrow, so on Halloween, I'm gonna be having a party here in the yarn dungeon. So if you're about spooky crochet, if you love hanging out in a yarn dungeon, or you want to see what a yarn dungeon looks, because like this is all you guys see, like there's obviously more to the yarn dungeon. So basically it's just gonna be a great time for the entire Ghoul squad to get together and talk about yarn. Costumes are definitely encouraged. I will definitely be rocking a costume, so costumes are encouraged. Also, I do have my link down below for my Insta account, so if you're interested, go ahead and follow me on that too, and then just spend the entire day with me tomorrow, because you know that I'm gonna be up super early tomorrow. Well, super early for me. I'll be up and documenting the whole day of pumpkin carving, last minute decorating, a little bit of crochet, and then obviously my getting ready for my costume. So if you want to get ready with me tomorrow, definitely go ahead and click the link down below and come follow me on Instagram. But for today, that is all I have for you, so thank you so much for hanging out with me, getting your last minute spooky vibes on Halloween Eve here, and I will see you tomorrow, literally 8 p.m. Central in the Yarn Dungeon for our Halloween party.